Welcome to Top 10 on Tuesday with More Solutions. My name is Chad Moore here with my brother Lou Moore. This is where we cover 10 topics in 10 minutes or 13, which is what we generally average. And I think I'm up first this week. So the first thing I want to talk about is something I came across recently that either I forgot about or just never saw originally, or I wouldn't have seen it originally, but it's a Monty Python skit. And I think it's just because I've always seen their movies more than their TV show. But it's the fish slapping dance. Have you seen that?
This would be from Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Yes.
Sounds familiar, but
Well, I'll play it here so you can see it. But it's I love it because it's crazy. It's really, really short, and we're kind of in these times of constantly anxious and angry, and so this is really short, extremely silly, and I just want to publicly declare that whenever I pass on, hopefully years and years and years from now, but at my funeral, I want this played on a loop, just on a TV somewhere without any sort of introduction or explanation to it.
duly noted. I'll do some silly
That's
walking.
what I have to say about that.
That's I will do some silly walking as I present it, assuming that I'm there.
Yeah, hope so. No, not. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, it would be better if I'm not, probably. You know, I don't know.
Right.
Yes, the Flying Circus has lots of gems. I really should go back and check those out. Everybody knows most of the big films, but there's quite a good bit in there. I mean, the parrot sketch is in there. Spam's,
Right.
I think,
Spam's
right?
in there. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the upper class twit of the year. I mean, there's several really, really good ones, but there's a ton of them that are just phenomenal, such as the fish slapping dance that you forgot about or never saw, or they don't get quite as much publicity.
I will look forward to that. One thing I saw this week on a more I don't know, serious note. I said I don't know, useful. Let's say was this speaker Jon Acuff. He's from the area here where I live. He's from the Franklin area, and he's an author, speaker, that sort of thing, motivational speaker. That obviously, like many folks in that line of work, he's not getting out a bunch, so he started doing video series, and they're pretty funny. They've really advanced, just like a lot of these, like our thing here. It's getting light years better every week. But he did 10 things not to do on a Zoom. Some of them, seem pretty obvious. Maybe, like don't eat during the Zoom, or, to walking around and all this sort of thing while you're on the Zoom. But I would recommend it. One of them was, he said, don't be Zooming in front of unmade beds, which I think is a solid suggestion.
That's a good one. Yeah.
There's a lot of humor to it, and acts out some of the scenarios. Pretty funny. We'll have a link to it in the show notes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
My next one is a focus on a designer called Jonathan Presswitch, who Lou and I are pseudo friends with. I mean, it's not somebody we would be able to call up and say, "Hey, it's Chad or Lou," and he'd be like, "Oh, hey." It would be, "It's Chad and Lou. Remember us? We're the ones. Oh, yeah. How are you?" He'd know who we are, but and recognize us as a perfectly nice guy. But want to focus on him, one, because he's a good-looking man and wanted to show his picture, but secondly, he's designed quite a few of the products that we sell. So Davis, for instance, he does a lot of work with Davis. Two new products that they just launched that he designed are Lightwork and KO. And then also within their portfolio, STEM, Link, Technique, Q6, which is one of their big sellers. He was a co-designer of the M75, which came out last year. And then even with Sandler, the Essence table he's designed as well. And so great guy. We'll knock on your door sometime at 12:30 in the morning after your party's effectively over and you've turned all the lights out and you're in your underwear, and we'll have a little nightcap.
Yep. Well, I did get dressed again, but we did have that final drink with him. Very talented designer, very, very nice person. My ego says that he actually does know who I am, and I think we're friends on some social media platform. But
Okay, well, maybe more so you than me.
oh, Jonathan's a super nice guy, and the light work. If sadly we had we missed the whole Neocon experience. Had we not, there's no doubt that would have been an award winner, a gold award winner. It's a beautiful piece. So
I'm going to go ahead and announce that it won an award. It won a Neocon Gold. Best of show.
It won best of show. We've given it that, and it's the combination of the materials with the molded shell, but the interior upholstery, the way it moves, and the bases. It's gorgeous. He does great work, which is funny because that was one of mine. This is how this works when we don't coordinate ahead of time, which we're not supposed to. It's part of the deal. So that's
Nope.
I'm going to improv on that then.
Riff.
I have a Netflix show to recommend binge watching. Sometimes when I'm working at the home office, I have the Netflix up there just rolling, so I can hear a little humor. It's called Lee's Convenience. It is about a convenience store in the neighborhood in Toronto, and a husband and wife who immigrated from South Korea to Canada, and then their kids who have kind of grown up more in the Toronto or in the Canadian thing. Obviously experiences that are very different than mine, both from a South Korean immigrant to Canada and Canadian, but it's funny.
That sounds like your background. I don't.
It's a charming show. The family dynamic's great. Plus the little things that are, cultural differences, both with the, Korean influence and then Canadian. When you get a place there, you turn on the water, you go to the water service, water company, then you get a water bill. That's what we would say. There they say hydro. You pay your
hydro.
Awesome.
It sounds cooler.
Using it, yeah.
Also, the Hydra, though, the connotation could be bad because that's an evil organization that the Avengers fight.
That's Hydra.
Oh, right. Sorry. Okay.
Hydro. Pay your hydro bill.
But my next one is The Block, which is happening. It's happening. The Block. It's a development here in Birmingham, supposedly, that is going to be one block from our showroom here in Birmingham. It's 2nd Avenue North, in between 19th and 20th. Supposedly, both sides of the street. They are purporting that they're going to have 2,000 full and part-time living wage jobs. It will bring in 2.5 million guests annually, 133 million in annual sales. It's 1.2 million square feet. We'll have the tallest building in Alabama. Friends of mine that have posted about it on Facebook are calling it the Fire Festival of Developments. If you go to their website, it's very flashy, and you are not entirely sure what they're even talking about until you start to see some of the drawings. Another couple comments which are funny was that that it's already over budget and behind schedule because supposedly phase 1 and phase 2 are supposed to be completed by 2022. But in related news, some investors and myself are buying the city of Coleman. We're going to call it The City, and it's going to be the biggest tourist attraction in the world, and we should have it ready by Thursday.
I think that's fantastic planning. That you just have to have that outlandish pie in the sky kind of vision to make this thing happen. It reminded me of this massive wheel, big Ferris wheel thing they were going to build in Las Vegas. It was going to have huge, LCD, LED screens on both sides with advertising. I mean, the promotional materials were out of this world. And there's 2 concrete columns still standing across from Mandalay Bay. That's how far they got, but it looked amazing on paper. Next one, I've noticed we're adjusting to a different time, both with manufacturing and shipping and so forth. And just speaking to people in the industry, it's like there's definitely some lags, some delays, supply chain, whatever they may be, people out because of closures and all that sort of thing. So there are definitely challenges. Business is slower, but there's also these challenges. So was talking to some folks about it and finding out that it is all over and includes almost everyone, the big manufacturers, smaller ones, what have you. And speaking to a longtime industry friend, Kimberly Scheuer at ORI, she offered a really nice perspective and just, keeping things positive, just knowing that we are, and I'm using her words here, quote, vital parts of keeping the workplace safe and moving forward and going forward, creating environments that will evolve into efficient, safe workplaces. So I thought that was just an awesome perspective. True, in our industry. I mean, obviously we're not frontline medical people. That's the key thing right now. Science, coming up with a vaccine and all that. But certainly our industry and the creative folks therein and the manufacturers as well are going to be building that newer, safer future place where we work and come together.
Sure. Yeah.
Good.
And that kind of somewhat goes with my next one, which is talk about one of the lines that we've got called Cylin, which if there's a product that promotes social distancing, I can't think of a better one than the Cylin S1 pod, which is basically a phone booth for one. But they do have 2-person, 4-person, 6-person little kind of rooms, acoustic rooms where you can do head down work or have private meetings. Really, just really great acoustically, a lot of airflow, 32 different colors, larger interior footprint than our competitors. So really, really well designed products. They also have a new lower cost one called Chatbox, which just came out, but has a lot of the same features, just a fewer kind of design as far as colors and that sort of thing, but still has a lot of the same features as the original Cylin. But really, it was funny because we picked this product up right before the pandemic. So it's like, oh, well, great. Here now people can bring their own phone into a phone booth and it's a great place to work.
Lock yourself in. You have distanced and privacyed yourself right away. But I thought I was in a chat box already. This is what this is. But yeah, but I was reading about the designers and architects talking about how are we going to do the next, office space. And it's going to be some mix of that, more private working areas and larger collaborative areas, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just so go quickly here, since we did talk a little bit about that Davis launch with Jonathan Presswitch. They had a big launch this week. But also wanted to note, since we've been talking about her in the other previous weeks, Sarah Cooper, who does the kind of Trump carry.
You keep bringing her up, actually, is what happens.
Yes. Just brief note, but she did get a Netflix special this week. So
nice.
From doing,
it's probably because of our videos that we've been posting. It's really boosted her.
It hasn't hurt, certainly raised that profile. But from doing an open mic kind of late night at a pizza place in Jersey early this year to a Netflix special, pretty awesome story.
Pretty solid.
Solid.
My last one is a docuseries that I just started watching on Netflix called High Score, which is basically following the history of video games, but starts in the first few episodes really are kind of nostalgia and inducing, pretty much as we were kids, late 70s, early 80s, with the arcades coming out. And one of the stories that came out, which I thought was great, was an MIT student freshman year, this late 70s, somehow was able to bring in a pinball machine into his dorm and collect the quarters from all the students that are playing it. And by his junior year, he's got multiple pinball machines and arcade games over multiple dorm areas at MIT and has like a number of friends that are working for him. So
Right.
Junior year, Missile Command comes out. They install 3 cabinets. First week, they're making $600 per cabinet. Second week, it's $400. Third week, it's $200. So the money's going down. It's because Missile Command was too easy to play. Like people got better at it. So being MIT students, they hack the software and create a kit that you could plug into the motherboard of the machine. They ended up selling that to arcade owners arcade owners that wanted to make more money and made $250,000 within the first 3 weeks of selling this kit.
That's brilliant.
So they all drop out of school to create this company. Of course, they get sued by Atari.
Sure.
But they settled with Atari, and they just finished their kit to hack Pac-Man. And so they went to Midway and said, we've got this kit that you can plug in or whatever. And Midway was like, this is awesome. And that is where Mrs. Pac-Man came from.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Isn't that crazy?
Fantastic. I thought it was going to be the Donkey Kong High Score one. That documentary. That sounds great. That's on Netflix?
Yep, High Score.
Awesome. I will enjoy that. Last one I got, last night watched Pacha Kacha from Knoxville. That's a very hard spell, but I just usually PK, close enough. Pacha Kacha, been going to it for many years. It's every, kind of quarterly thing. The last few have been virtual, of course. One of the leaders of it is Matthew DeBartoleben, friend of both of ours, been in our industry in various capacities over the years. Just a tremendous guy and friend. But it's a wonderful thing. They have different subjects, but a lot of times focus on design or building things. The idea is a Japanese one, a concept of basically the idea was architects sometimes could be too long-winded in explaining a concept.
I don't know any.
Being an example,
right.
But of explaining that concept to a client, and so to get it to a real, like, concise, focused thing, They did 20 slides, 20 seconds per slide. That's the gig, and it goes boom, boom, boom. Once it starts, it goes. Whether you're keeping up with it or not, it's a lot of fun to watch. So I invite, check them out. They're in various cities. For some reason, I only end up going to the one in Knoxville. It's just a tremendous community over there. And over the weeks, I'll probably wax poetic about the 3 grand divisions of Tennessee. Very pro Tennessee. I'll talk about each of them. But East Tennessee, a great community of design. Pachaw. Check it out. And a suggestion from my wife was that we should do this as a Pachaw.
Ah,
She likes faster pace.
she likes. Well, I think we nailed 10 minutes. We're right on 10 minutes.
Awesome. I don't think that.
I don't think we were close either. This time I didn't even start the stopwatch. Why bother? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
I'll be safe out there.